Prabhu, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Prabhuji, now. Yes. Can you hear us, Prabhu?
Okay, I can't hear you. Just give me a minute.
Oh, sure.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Prabhu. Yes.
Hi, Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Danvat Pranam.
Oh, I'm having some problems with the laptop. Do you want to start and then in the meantime, I'll figure out if you can have the group start with the presentation? Thank you.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, devotees. While Prabhuji is figuring out his sound, we can start with the group presentation. So I know today we have the last chapter. So we'll just start with the invocation prayers, and then I'll hand it over to group one for this presentation. Mam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Putle Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nipi Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Dishitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so whenever group one is ready for their chapter 19 summary.
Yeah, sure. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Danvat Pranam. Please accept my respectful humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Sir Papa. Hare Krishna by Hare Prabhuji. Belated Happy Krishna Conscious birthday. So, in this session, we'll be seeing the Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 19, Devotion Service in Pure Love of God. So, the description in Chapter 19 is not very detailed because Prema and Bhava are similar. Prema is basically a developed stage of Bhava. So whatever analysis is given for Bhava applies in many ways similar to the analysis that is required for Prema too. So now like the Prabhupada starts this by describing when one's desire to love Krishna in one particular relationship becomes intensified, this is known as pure love of Godhead. So this is pure of Godhead. And in this session, we'll try to know the definition of prema, characteristics of prema, and types of prema, and the way we can, and the way the devotees can achieve it as well. And how ecstasy and the Lord's extraordinary mercy is imbibed in this stuff. So the definition of prema Sri Rupa Goswami, he gives Samyan Mrishnito Svanto Mamatva Tishayan Tiha Bhava Sayeva Sandratma Buddhai Prema Nigadyate. So they call this to be prema, and what is that prema? Samyan Spritos Svanto. That means completely. What is completely here is softening of the heart. So in bhava the heart is soft, but in prema that the softening of the heart is complete. So uh, atisha inktiha means atisha is a lot of abundant, and inkita is marked, so that which is marked with a lot of feeling of intense emotion. And bhavasa eva sadratma. So bhava in antratma means condensed or concentrated. So when that bhava softens the heart completely, uh, what happens to bhava is it becomes endowed with strong feeling of possessiveness in relationship with the Lord, and it's marked with intense feeling of possessiveness and becomes very condensed and intensified. It is called prema by lone scholars, which is Budai Prema Nigadyate. So now in this definition, let's look at the characteristics of this definition, the primary and secondary characteristics. Prabhupada writes about this in the Narada Pancharatra. It is clearly stated that when lust is completely transferred to the Supreme Godhead and the concept of kinship is completely reposed in him, such is accepted as pure love of God by great authorities like Bhishma, Prahalada, Uddhava, and Narada. So, in one of the famous prayer of Bhaktivinoda Thakura, where he says that, my dear Lord, just as the very intensity with which my mind is attracted to the sense objects, let my mind now be attracted to you. So, on a similar note, you can see how a man is attracted to a woman and a woman is to a man. Similarly, one should be attracted to Lord Krishna. So, this is actually the principle of devotion. Actually, our material emotions are distortions of our original pure spiritual emotions. So what we have to do is we have to draw our emotions back, but we can't just draw them back. We cannot leave emotionless. So we have to direct our emotions towards Krishna. And when this redirection happens completely, then that is pure love of God. And Prabhupada further quotes Bhishma example here. According to Bhishma, love means reposing one's affection completely upon one person, withdrawing all affinities from any other person. So it is reposing one's affection completely upon one person. Sometimes, if you say, I love you, then I say, I don't love anyone else except you. That would mean to love you, I have to cut out everyone else from my love circle. So that may happen if we love somebody in this world. Uh, because Krishna is connected with everyone, Krishna intimately loves everyone. Therefore, when we love Krishna, our love flows through Krishna to everyone. But the focus is that we have to focus our love on Krishna, and through Krishna, the love goes to everyone else. We see Bhishma, he was very considerate towards not just the Pandavas, but he was also considerate towards Duryodhana. He tried to give him good advice and tried as much as possible to get him on the right track. So in that sense, a devotee is not insensitive. A devotee is very sensitive about various issues and tries to deal with them properly, because his love does not get diverts from everything else. So now in this, the primary characteristics is bhava sayeva sandratma. And when bhava becomes condensed and intensified, it is prema, which is very intense feeling of love, and it is a secondary characteristic, samyan musranito svanto. Other very significant point from the definition is mamata Mamat Mamatva. There are two modes. There are two modes in the relationship which is based on Tadiyatva and Mamatva. Tadiyatva means that, my dear Lord, I am yours. This itself is an exalted level of surrender. One may think I am independent and I am my own person. I will do that I want to do. I am free now that feeling is it's okay. In one sense, the modern or postmodern ethos may like to celebrate that kind of feeling. This is not a feeling which is conducive to devotion. Feeling I'm independent is conducive to bondage and a continued existence in material existence. Because in being independent, we may have a feeling of freedom, but we will not have a feeling of fulfillment. Fulfillment comes by the reciprocation of love, and for that, we have to have relationships. And relationship means that has to be subordination. So Tadiyatva means, my dear Lord, I am yours. Bhakti Vinoda Thakur and other acharyas have sung that, my dear Lord, I'm yours and everything, and that I have is yours, which is an exalted level of surrender. But higher than that is Mamatva, not just that I am yours, my dear Lord, you are also mine. Uh, one can think, how does that work? Here we can take the example of Yashoda Mai. Uh, she certainly, it's implied that I am yours, my dear Lord. She does say that I am yours, but beyond that, it also implies that Mamatva means that you are mine. So Yashoda Mai thinks that Krishna is my child, not only my child, he's actually, I have to take care of him. So because she is thinking that he is my child, so she has to be well behaved. You cannot just go around stealing butter from anyone. What will happen to his reputation? And it's very bad. So that mamatva is very elevated stage of love. Generally, we think of possessiveness as bad. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita also says that the feeling of mama or the possessiveness, giving up the feeling of mama of possessiveness. So there are two modes of our illusion. One is the possessiveness, and the other is the misidentification, which is ahankara. So the things connected with the body are mine, and I am the body. So me and my aham mameti. So now, normally, mamatva is considered to be very bad as far as the normal understanding of spiritual life is concerned, and mamatva has to be given up. But when we come to a very evolved and understanding of spiritual life, all the emotions that are there in the material world, they are distortions, and we want to give up the distortions. But the way to give up the distortions is by not just rejecting them, but reverting them to their original forms. And that reversion to their original forms is by purification and by the process of devotional service. So when that mamatva is directed towards Krishna, it makes a relationship very sweet and intimate. Radharani thinks that Krishna is my Lord, and that's why if she comes to know from some of her gopis that Krishna is with Chandravali, then she gets angry with Krishna. Later on, when Krishna comes, she is angry. If you want to be with her, don't come here. So, what is this? This is obsessiveness for Krishna. And this is very pleasing to Krishna. This mamatva indicates a very exalted level of love of God, and it indicates most importantly that one has got a personal relationship with God. It's not just based on a personal and intimate relationship with God. When we think of God in the sense of greatness, we think of God is all powerful, God is all great and all kind, and I just have to offer myself to Him. That is Tadiyatva. But in Mamatva is much deeper, where okay, God is all powerful, all great, but God is my beloved, and we have a relationship. And in that relationship, there is a feeling of possessiveness, and not just possessiveness. Ati Shankta is intense possessiveness, In fact, we see the Radha Yatra festival where the gopis, what are they doing? They are taking Krishna back to Vrindavana. That is the mood of the Radha festival from Kurukshetra, where the gopis have met Krishna in their vision. They have made a cart and they are pulling Krishna uh, back. So, what is the underlying sentiment behind it is Krishna belongs to Vrindavan and Krishna belongs to us, the Vrajavasis, and we want him back in Vrindavan. So, there is Mamatva. And now in Mamatva, Tadiyatva is not rejected. Tadiyatva is present, but it is subordinated. So, Bhakti Vinoda Thakura in one of the songs says, Amito Tumara, Tumito Amara, Kikaja Paradane. So he says, Amito Tumara, I am yours, my dear Lord. That is Tadiyatva. I offer myself completely to you, but then the relationship with Krishna is not just one-sided. For the relationship to be truly realizable, it is both sided. So Amito Tumara, then Tumito Amara, that you are all mine. You are mine, and when I have you, what do I need anything else for? You are the supreme possession. Hikajab Paradane. He says, Aparadane, what other wealth do I need apart from you? There are two ways of achieving prema. One is by the maturation of bhava, and the second is by the Lord's extraordinary mercy. So prema can come by mercy, that is krupa, and it can come from bhava. So mercy is completely causeless, and it will just lead directly over there. And bhava now, uh, as we discussed earlier, bhava can come from vaidhi and raganuga, and accordingly, the prema can be called as Vaida Bhavatta and Raganugya Bhavatta. So that means what? From Vaidhi to Bhava, and then from there one has come to Prema, and then from Raganuga to Bhava, and from there to Prema. So in both ways one can come to Prema. There are two subdivisions of Prema arising from Bhava. Prema arising from Bhava achieved through Vaidhi sadhana is called Vaida Bhavatta. Srila Prabhupada describes from Vaidhi, a devotee in the course of executing the regulatory principle of devotional service develops his natural Krishna consciousness, becomes softened at heart. He chants and dances like a madman, and while performing chanting of the holy names, he sometimes cries, sometimes talks widely, sometimes sings, and sometimes without caring for any outsider dances like a madman. And the second one is prema arising from bhava achieved through raganuga. Sadhana is called Raganagaya Bhavatta. Here, like Sri Ela Rupa Goswami cites the story of Chandrakanti from Padma Purana. Chandrakanti practiced Raganuga Bhakti, striving to develop the mood of the Ragatmikas of Vrindavana, especially the gopis. By this practice, she achieved bhava, at which point she decided to accept no one else but Krishna as her husband. And by maturation of her bhava bhakti, she began to constantly engage in meditation on Krishna's form with the concept of Krishna is my lover. This is Mahatma and a symptom of prema. And Krupa is also one way one can get to perfection, but a devotee does not depend on or demand Kripa as the only factor in perfection. The devotee endeavors. Devotee follows sadhana bhakti sincerely, and by that the devotee shows Krishna, I want your mercy. I beg for your mercy. That means when we are practicing bhakti, it is not our bhakti that is leading to spiritual advancement. It is Krishna's mercy that is leading to spiritual advancement. But along with that, our endeavor is also important. Prabhupada quotes about prema achieved by Krupa. Krishna tells Uddhava in 11.12.7 about the gopis. How did the gopis get pure love of God? The gopis of Vrindavana did not study the Vedas to achieve me, nor had they ever been in holy places of pilgrimage, nor did they ever devotedly execute principles, nor did they undergo any austerity. It is simply by my association that they have attained the highest perfection of devotional service. So now we may say, actually, aren't the gopis Nitya Siddha? Aren't the gopis descended from the spiritual world to the material world? Yes, they have, but not all gopis. There are many different categories of gopis. And now here we go to And in prema, there are two types of prema. So there is Mahatmya Gnana and Kevala. There are three stages of bhaktis as we have seen or discussed so far. There is sadhana bhakti, there is bhava bhakti, and there is prema bhakti. So if somebody practices Vaidhi bhakti, then from there one will come to Vaidhi Bhavottama, and from there one will get to Mahatmya Gnana. Similarly, if one practices Raga Bhakti, then one goes to Raga Bhavottama and one goes to Kevala. This is the progression which happens normally. And this includes Krishna's mercy, and with Krishna's mercy, anything is possible. And Prabhupada quotes from Narada Pancharatra, like Rupa Goswami is doing that if on account of profound veneration for the greatness of the Supreme Lord, one attains a great affection and steady love for him, one is certainly assured of achieving the four kinds of liberation. So Mahatma Gnana means that awareness of God's grace, greatness, and there is love over there, but that love is with an awareness of Krishna's greatness. Now, if you take an example and see in the Damodar Leela, what is happening is Krishna is being bound by a devotee who is Ashodamaya, and for a devotee who is in the Mahatma Gnana Prema, this is inconceivable. How can you bind God? God is the supreme object of love. You can't bind God. You have to be very respectful to God. But in Satyavatmani only, when he is describing this, he is describing how Yashoda Maya's love is Kevala. She is not thinking of Krishna in a mood of reverence. She is thinking of Krishna as her child. In fact, we see there are such intimate pastimes as at the level of Kevala that sometimes Nanda Maharaja, Yashoda Maya, they bless Krishna as well. Uh, Conclusion. To conclude chapter 19 here, so pure devotion service is rare and exalted. Most people approach God with some motive for relief in material gain, knowledge, or mystic power, but the pure devotee has no such desire. Their only wish is to serve and please Krishna, and free from karma and gnana. Devotion service becomes pure when it is completely freed from desires of desires for fruitive activity, karma, and speculative knowledge. Only bhakti unmixed with other processes leads to Krishna's full satisfaction. Loving Krishna for Krishna's sake, the highest standard is to love Krishna just because he is Krishna, not even for liberation. The devotee's happiness is entirely in Krishna's happiness. Examples of pure devotees that we have seen, where Sri Rupa Goswami, he references the gopis of Vrindavana, Prahlad Maharaja, and Haridas Thakura as examples of those who exemplified pure devotion. Purity is the force. Srila Prabhupada emphasizes that the power of devotion service comes from its purity, not, not its scale. Even a little pure devotion is more valuable than a vast amount of mixed devotion. Srila Prabhupada has given us the community of devotees as our protection, as our motivator, and as our guide in moving onwards in this devotional service journey. And by Krishna's mercy, by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we are able to go through this journey and ultimately attain life's supreme perfection. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. I just want to make a point here. Since I'm not at the stage of getting this information by reading the book, so I just went through the class given by His Grace Chaitanya Charan Das, and I got the notes from his class.
Sure. Thank you for sharing that, Prabhuji. I was about to ask what was your source of preparation, so you answered that already. Thank you. Just wanted to check on Bahari Prabhuji if he is back with us.
I think I'm back. You can hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji, loud and clear.
Okay, I can also hear you. So sorry about that. I think for some reason I could hear you, but my mic was not working. So thank you, Naveen Prabhu, for an excellent class and good summation. It's it's a fairly esoteric subject, and you handled it very well. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so with that, we come to an end of the Nectar of Devotion as far as the Bhakti Shastri is concerned. Obviously, this is a book that one is recommended to read. All the books one is recommended to read on an ongoing basis, but at least from the context of the Bhakti Shastri, that gets us to the end of the 19th chapter. So we have a little over half an hour, so we can use that for any Q&A about the Nectar of Devotion, this particular discussion, or the book as a whole. I also have, and while we are doing it, I also have a poll in terms of do you see? Okay, you see the poll. Okay, good. Okay, so can do that on the side. Please go ahead, Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhu. So this is about Manjaris and the Gopis. Probably Prabhu can answer, Naveen Krishnadas Prabhu. So what was it about the Manjaris or Gopis that it was mentioned? I don't recollect, but my question was more from any one of us. My understanding, I just want to correct it. Any one of us could become a Manjari but not a gopi. Is that a true statement, or you could become a gopi as
Hare Krishna Babuji, Dhanavad Pranam, please accept my reverence. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Sri Papa. To become a gopi, we need the mercy of Krishna. But Manjari, again, like we need probably the mercy of the spiritual master and the devotees. Correct me if I'm wrong, or like I will have by Hari Prabhuji to answer this if I'm wrong. Yeah, that's what I understood, or I take it probably.
Yes, Prabhu. So Chaitanya's Prabhu, a question was that can we become a Manjari or can we become a Gopi? Was that your question, Prabhu?
Yeah, kind of Prabhu. And I know the distinction between gopis and manjaris. It's just that I was wondering again. I think this is the same question that keeps boggling my mind every time about the Nitya Siddhas versus um, non-Nitya Siddhas, not Nitya Baddhas, but at least the people. Nitya Siddhas are it's almost like Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, and these people they have it's not a post that you can occupy. There are personalities who have been Mother Yashoda, or not personalities. There's only one Yashoda Mother who has been Yashoda Mother forever, and she'll be Yashoda Mother forever. Right? It cannot be. It's not a post that you can take. My understanding was from Manjari, you could take it as a post you could achieve, and the gopis is not. I just wanted to correct my understanding.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Good question. So you're right. There are certain relationships that are permanently occupied by the Nitya Siddhas. Right? So like it said that we have two tattvas. We have the Vishnu tattva, which is essentially Krishna and his expansions, and then we have Jiva tattvas, which is us. However, if you go a little bit further technical, there is a third tattva called Shakti tattva. So the Jiva tattvas are marginal in the sense that they could fall here or there. The Shakti tattvas are jivas, but in a slightly different position, that the relationship with Krishna is eternal. They can never come under Yogamaya. So they're like Nitya Siddhas, but again, a little different. So positions like Nand Baba, Yashoda, Lalita, Vishakha, these are all Shakti tattvas. they are under the internal energy of Krishna. What we can become is partially subservient to what we were. Right. So both aspects are correct. That we become what we were. Right. So whoever we were, we will become that. Whether Manjari or Gopi or Gopa or a plant or a piece of sand, that is what we'll become. But at the same time, we also have free will. And one of the interpretation of free will is, if we want, we can also change our relationship. So yes, in the realm of theory, it is possible, but essentially, we aspire to be what we were in our Siddha stage before we fell, whatever that may be.
If it is okay, a follow-up question, Prabhu. So I get the point that essentially whatever we were, I mean Swarup, whatever our Swarup was, we essentially take up that Swarup. When somebody goes into their Swarup Roop, is there a transcendental hankering to go closer to Krishna like a Lalita or a Vishaka? Will there be any such? Because it's a free will, right? Anybody could think like, okay, I want to become like a Vishaka. I want to become like a Lalita who can serve Radharani. So is there a possibility for them to promote and change in terms of their Swarup, or like whatever we have been, we will be? There is no change in that.
So both are right. That the possibility is there, but everybody is fully satisfied in the relationship. Right. So, somebody after millions of lifetimes of perfecting their devotional life, they go back to the spiritual world and they find out that they are a blade of grass. Right. So this was a question that was once asked, and the devotee was like, after so much of hard work, I become a blade of grass. It's not, seems a little bit of a letdown. And I forget who it was, but he was laughing, and he was saying that the sannyasi was given the class. He said the blade of grass experiences the same level of ecstasy and satisfaction that a gopa does. So the classic example is manjaris and gopis, right? Manjaris have no desire to go close to Krishna. Their only desire is to serve the gopis. Doesn't mean that they are averse to Krishna, because they know they're serving the gopis to serve Krishna, right? But they don't have that mood that today I made this beautiful garland, let me go and give it directly to Krishna or Radharani, right? Not even Krishna, they serve Radharani, right? So they're fully satisfied in serving the gopis.
Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhu. It's a Gopi Dasanu philosophy.
It's the Dasanudas. That is correct.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Any other thoughts, questions, comments? Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. I'll ask a question. So, in the class that we just had, wherein prema bhav is definitely intense, very intense desire to love Krishna, lot of possessiveness here, and Krishna is all attracting. So, at that position, you are 200% attracted to Krishna. My question is, does it also create the detachment and the repulsion from everybody else? And both in both the ways, and I'm talking from my level, and I cannot imagine myself there, but today I may have some bad habits. At the same time, I'm very much attached to probably my family and my job and other things, right? So will the intense desire or love for Krishna detach me from both the perspective, wherein I'll not do anything bad, but at the same time I will also become yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Very practical question. So, so you're right. The path to spiritual progress, it runs on two tracks: material detachment and spiritual attachment. So, as one develops more spiritual attachment, the detachment part is a corollary to that. Now, how does the detachment manifest?
Right.
So the detachment manifests. So to answer that question, the question we need to ask is, what is the difference between material and spiritual? Right? So the difference between material and spiritual conception is that if we see something as an object of our own enjoyment, it becomes material. As something that we need to exploit for our personal enjoyment, it becomes material. If we see something in relationship to Krishna, it becomes spiritual. So when we say that as we make advancement, then we develop material detachment, we develop detachment from the material conception. So a devotee may have a family and may look upon the family in the context of Krishna. So one notion is that this is my family, I need to take care of them, and I need to make all arrangements for them, right? So they have Patrikalatradesh, that these are coming from my body, so they are my whatever. That's the material conception. The spiritual conception is that me along with my family serve Krishna. So together we are serving each other and we are serving Krishna. So the notion that spiritual attachment results in material aversion is a misreading. What it results in, an aversion to the material conception. And Srila Prabhupada exemplified that he very actively used everything material in the spiritual conception. Right? There is this humorous incident that a disciple of Prabhupada showed him a newspaper clipping in which there was a person in saffron, and somebody was standing in front with him with a plate full of money, and this sannyasi, he had his hand behind his bags, saying, I don't want anything to do with this money. Right? And the headline was kind of like, the person has nothing, doesn't have no attraction to money. And Prabhupada was looking at it and laughing and said, if somebody gave me a plate full of money, I would take it and use it in Krishna service. Right? So that's the difference, that there is an aversion to the material conception. But really speaking, how can anything be separate from Krishna? Right? And if we say that this is separate, this material world is separate from Krishna, we are limiting Krishna's powers. But because of our own
let's get back to work. It's over.
I can mute her.
So, but because of our own contamination, we look upon it as separate from Krishna, and then that's what makes it material.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, Prabhuji. And if I can little bit clarify with an example, like you said, how does it manifest, right? So I'm just thinking based on this class, we are not at that level, but Radharani or the gopis, they are with their husbands in their family, but they are thinking of Krishna. So would it have been possible that they have a choice that they can be doing their duty and still love Krishna, or is it going to be like unilateral that no, Krishna is Krishna and nobody else? I don't like my husband or my family as such.
Good point. That's a good point. Because you do see they are all busy in their own.
Yes.
They're all busy in their own work, but they all leverage it one way or the other.
Yeah.
To intensify their relationship with Krishna. Good point.
Thank you, Prabhuji. There you go.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anything else? Okay. All right. So maybe we can end a little early and give you
The
back.
poll is answered, Prabhuji. The poll that you created.
Yeah.
So we have 11 devotees for 2 weeks and 9 devotees voted for 3 weeks.
Can you post the question again, Prabhu? I didn't get to post.
Why didn't you get it? Everybody should have gotten it, right? But it does say that 14 devotees have not participated. And
I didn't answer that time, Prabhu. Sorry.
okay. I
It's
don't know,
okay.
Pandini Radha, how to get. I mean, there is a poll. If you go into the toolbar at the bottom, there is a selection for polls and quizzes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I see it. Okay. So, Prabhu, is this, when you say weeks, is this the number of classes we will miss for preparation? Is that what it means? How many weeks
Yeah,
break to
this is
prepare?
the break, right? We either take a week's break, 2 weeks break, or 3 weeks break for before we resume our.
No, I guess my question is, so that 1 week is equivalent to 1 class, correct?
1 week is equivalent to 1 class, correct?
Okay. Thank you.
Right. So the next module that we'll be doing, I mean, we have one more module left, which will be a combination of Isupnishad and Nectar of Instruction. So before we start with the next module, I will have uploaded my pre-recorded lectures for Isupnishad, and we'll follow the same format that we followed for Bhagavad Gita. That we'll use the groups. They can listen to the lectures, prepare the presentations. The Isupnishad has 18 mantras, and we can probably do 3 mantras in every class. So about a month and a half for Isupnishad, and about NOI is only 11 verses, and so that generally takes about a month to do. And so that's the plan for the last module. So it looks like, even though everybody's not participated, but it looks like everybody, the majority of the people are opting for a 2-week break. I did see 3 devotees for a 1 week, and about 10 devotees for 3 weeks. Okay, so if it's okay with all of you, we will take a 2-week break. In the meantime, if you can make sure that you do your exam. So the 1 month for the exams, that timer starts from now. So from now you have 4 weeks to finish the exam, and I'm happy to see that some of you have already actually taken the exam. So that itself is very encouraging. Okay, any concluding thoughts, questions about the exam, questions about NoD, questions about the next module?
I think one of the devotee was asking whether we will have the verses to memorize for this module or not. So I just put it in the group, Chaitanya Ras Prabhuji. So we have the verses. You have the document also now.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, we'll end over here. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant Puri Vaishnavind ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanand. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, bro.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.